Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Sports Scene by NGTV. I suppose we'll start with the game at the Etihad. So probably the result of the weekend, would you agree?
I mean, definitely for them, yeah. Obviously, for other teams, there was some big results, but you would say shock of the weekend, most definitely.
Yeah. I kind of got a little bit worried when I was in the team sheet, to be honest.
Yeah.
Zinchenko was put in midfield.
Interesting. Well,
Mendy and Aki at the back. Let's see, we have Ferran Torres Sterling on the left, who looks a shell of a player this year.
yeah, he has struggled this season.
I think we're Jesus up front, don't we think?
I think so.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird team sheet, but I suppose we've got the
Got the Champions
gap.
League and stuff, haven't we?
Yeah, so we've got the gap to like rotate and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
like I said, we've got the Champions League on Wednesday, which I'm guessing he didn't want any injuries during the Leeds game.
Yeah.
To obviously, so they can't play on Wednesday. So, yeah, I think I had a quick look at the stats after the game, and City had like 29 attempts, and Leeds had 2,
Yeah.
and
Scored
it ended
both.
2-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, it ended 2-1. So
Yeah.
that kind of
It was your classic snatch and grab, wasn't it? You know, shades of Celtic versus Barcelona way back when.
yeah.
But
And it's what I've noticed as well when obviously watching City now. It's like I'm watching like when we do lose, or if we draw or something like that. It seems like the same pattern where we'll have about 20 shots and score like 1 or 2 goals, and an
Yeah.
opposition will literally have 2 shots and score 2 goals.
they found the mould. That's how you break Man City.
Like, yeah, it's just weird. But I thought Leeds played well, to be fair.
Yeah, they kind of executed their game plan well, which can't knock them for that one. But as you say, you've got that gap at the top where it's like anyone that's still debating that this is still a title race is wrong. Basically, it's over and done with. Like, you might have dropped that game, but you're not going to drop another 4 and United win all 7 or whatever it is that are left.
Yeah, and I was looking at City's fixtures before. We play, I think it's in 4 different competitions now in 11 days. So this is kind of like a crucial part of our season now.
Yeah.
Obviously we've got the game against Dortmund, then we've got the FA Cup on the weekend, followed by the Premier League, and then followed by the EFL Cup final against Spurs as well.
Yeah. They confirmed today as well that Sancho will miss the second leg. So,
Yeah, and I've seen today that Hummels and Marco Reus limped out of their last game, so I think they're touch and go as well.
Yeah.
So that obviously, if they're going to miss all 3 of those players, that's obviously a massive miss.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is going to be a defining 2 weeks of Man City's season now.
We'll have a pretty good idea of how likely that quadruple's going to be in 2 weeks. Because I suppose if you win another 2 league games, you'd almost say the league's wrapped up. I mean, I think it's wrapped up now, but you could have 1 trophy in the bag and another final plus a semi-finals or whatever it'd be. So yeah, it must be exciting times for a Man City fan.
It is, but I'm not going to lie.
Must be nice winning trophies.
You know,
I remember when we used to do that.
Yeah, it is a weird one still being in all 4 trophies, like all 4 competitions at this point of like the season. But I said we've got the squad depth to like keep rotating and stuff like that. So
well, that's what I said when you said before. Like, we've got the gap, so we can change the players. Against the Leeds, your second 11 probably is still better than a Leeds. So it's a possibility, like, but Yeah, that was definitely the shock of the weekend for me, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, did you see the red card?
No, I haven't had a chance to catch the highlights of that one actually.
I thought there was people saying that it wasn't a red card. I felt in real time he booked him for a yellow card, which I thought was a fair decision. And then when VAR looked at it, he kind of took the ball, but his follow through was like it could have broke his leg.
Yeah.
Easily. So then obviously it got changed to a red card, which I thought was understandable, to be fair. But there's been a bit of, because people are saying that he touched the ball first, it shouldn't have been a foul and stuff like that. But obviously the rules these days is it doesn't matter if you win the ball, it's like excessive force, stuff like that. So I personally thought it was the right decision. But I think that moves us nicely onto the next game. It didn't affect the result,
but
I thought it was. I knew it was going to get overturned when I was watching it. I knew it.
It was such a shit decision. Is the only words I can think for it, because like he's like gone to hold him off and literally like fingertipped him in the face, and you've. That's had no bearing on the goal at all.
No, and I think a few moments before, it showed. I forgot who the Spurs player was, but it was Pogba. He was down the right hand side, I think, and he used his elbow like that to like fend him off. It wasn't a foul or anything like that, but he kind of just like, he was like holding him off. Which was a lot worse than what they disallowed that goal for.
Yeah, and then
a lot worse.
The one issue I had with it is if you're saying in that situation, because if it's accidental, it's not a free kick. They clarified that if that's accidental, you can't give a free kick for that because there's no intent. It's just it's a collision of players. So if he's looked at that and deemed that was intentional, McTominay was already on a yellow card, should have been sent off. So. But like you say, it locally didn't affect the result, but it could have done, obviously, with Spurs taking the lead not long after that as well. You know, it took, United to kind of take over in the second half and end up scoring 3, but yeah, it was a weird game. Like, I only caught the second half because I was out, but I went back and watched the first half, and I thought we were, like, much better in the second half. Like, I thought we had an okay first half, but we were much better in the second half.
Yeah, and I think you nullified Harry Kane. I didn't really see him through the whole game. Really, he was pretty non-existent.
I didn't like it at 2-1 when Maguire tried to take him on, and he just fucking shrugged him off. Like, no, you don't do that to me, pal. That was scary.
Yeah. Going back to obviously the disallowed goal, it made me laugh. Our son was on the floor for about 5 minutes.
I can't believe all the stuff that's come out of it. I don't know if you saw Solskjaer's interview afterwards when he said, if that was my son, he wouldn't be getting food. And then Mourinho's like basically saying that he's a child abuser. And now his son's come out and said, I always get food.
I mean, he couldn't. Surely he couldn't actually think that he was being serious.
I know,
he wouldn't have fed his son.
Nah, I saw you diving that, son. Get to bed. No tea for you tonight.
But I mean, I'm surprised when Son scored and they ran off to the corner flag. Someone gave him like a chest pump. I was expecting him to drop down to the floor on his chest, but he'd stayed on his feet, thankfully.
Yeah, well, but apparently he received a lot of abuse online afterwards. I saw like the club are launching an investigation. Obviously, don't condone that type of behaviour, but like, because I think like the abuse he was getting was racial abuse rather than like stop falling over like a fanny abuse type of thing. But yeah, so I did see that they're launching an investigation into the abuse that he's received online after that.
I think all like football clubs and everyone like that will come off social media.
It does look that way, doesn't it?
So it'd be like we're back in the 90s.
Yeah. But
So,
yeah, that game finishing 3-1 to United, Greenwood gift wrapping it at the end. I originally thought that the keeping was pulled up. I think he just hit it that hard that Lloris didn't really have a chance.
no, I thought it was a good strike.
Yeah.
I think you'd have to have fucking strong hands to keep that out.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I'm kind of the one of few that actually really like Mason Greenwood, and who's even when he went through like his little bad patch, I was still like saying, no, he's still like a really good player, and I think he can be a lot better than what like Rashford is. I think he's a better finisher.
Yeah, he's definitely a better finisher.
I think he's got everything.
I think his
he just
football
needs
IQ is really high.
Yeah, he just needs like a run of games where he's constantly like starting, or whether they're just looking after him like we looked after Phil Foden, or I don't know. But I really like him. I think he's a very good player.
Yeah, I think he's a top player. Like even like his awareness to create the first goal, or the second goal, should I say, even. Like just to know to put that ball in and then to place it so well. I think he's a top player. I think he's going to be like, if he gets the right treatment, one of the best players in the world at one point.
Yeah, especially because if you look how like young he is now, and how good his shooting is.
Yeah. Like
he's obviously going to get like better and better when he gets into like his prime years and stuff like that. So it could potentially be like be scary where he could go. I really like him. I think he's a very, very good player.
Yeah. So that result obviously was great for United because it was 3 points, and you know, City dropping 3 points is 3 points closer. But the other reason it was good was obviously the West Ham Leicester game, which we highlighted as, you know, like a big game for the top four race.
Yeah.
It kind of went with the West Ham mould at the moment. West Ham go 3-0 up in nearly every game, and then just try the hardest to lose from that position. So they went 3-0 up, and then Leicester ended up getting 2 back in the end, so it finished 3-2, which is huge for us because it's 3 more points away from Leicester, but it's also huge for West Ham because it's now catapulted them into the top 4 and dragged Leicester into the race, because I believe it's only 1 point between them two as well.
Yeah, I mean, are Leicester going to do it for the second consecutive season and just...
They've got some hard games as well. Like, I know I sent you the picture of the run-in thing that I made. I'm pretty sure they play like 3 of them top, like 3 of the people chasing that top 4 race. Like, I think they play Chelsea. I think they've got City, United. So they've got some tough games on their running.
Yeah, I mean, the way it's looking, they're probably not going to get top 4.
I was going to say, I would back against them getting top 4 currently.
I think it'll be
Chelsea and West Ham are my show.
I'm trying to think of trying to think of fixture list that you showed me. I think Chelsea will definitely get in there.
I have to fancy West Ham at this point. I don't remember West Ham having like that many tough games. Like, I think they have got Man City. I think it's West Ham that have got Man City last game of the season.
So we got Everton. We have.
Oh, is it Everton? I knew one of the chasers have got City last. I think West Ham have got like 1 or 2 tough games, but the rest are like games they probably should win.
I'm just gonna have a quick
look at that list I sent
you. Yeah. So West Ham have got Newcastle away.
Yeah.
Very winnable. Then they've got a big game, Chelsea at home. Burnley away. Again, very winnable.
Yeah.
Everton at home.
That's winnable.
Very winnable.
Everton have played.
Yeah. Brighton away. Very winnable.
Yeah.
They're in a relegation fight. West Brom away. Again, very winnable.
Yeah.
And Southampton at home.
Oh, there you go.
Very winnable.
Like 1 tough game against Chelsea, and the rest of them you would expect them to take 3 points from.
Probably, yeah. The way it's looking. Chelsea have got Brighton at home, West Ham away, Fulham at home, Man City away, Arsenal at home, Leicester at home, Aston Villa away. So there is some tough games for Chelsea.
There's a couple in
there. Liverpool, I think they're 3 points behind West Ham.
I think so, yeah.
They've got Leeds away.
No, 3 points behind Chelsea because Chelsea are 5th. Or are they 2?
They've got Leeds away, which is tough.
Yeah.
Newcastle at home.
They're fighting for relegation, but
yeah, I'd say that was. I reckon that'll be relatively easy.
Callum Wilson is fit again though.
Yeah.
He made the bench.
After Newcastle, they've got Man United at Old Trafford.
There you go.
Which will be tough, and then they've got 4 quite easy games: Southampton, West Brom, Burnley, and Palace throughout the season.
It's quite an easy running.
So the next 3 are quite difficult. But yeah, I mean, Leicester's last 3 games are United, Chelsea, and Spurs.
But I just don't see them doing it.
It's like it is looking likely that West Ham will be playing Champions League football next season.
Wild, isn't it?
It is wild.
This Premier League.
Yeah. We'll have to see how it goes. But looking at the fixtures, I'd probably say City, United, Chelsea, and West Ham.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I don't know who finishes 5th, maybe Spurs, but I know Spurs' running wasn't easy, but it wasn't hard either at the same time, if I remember. But yeah, it's exciting times for football. I know we've got midweek Champions League and midweek Europa League this week, do we?
Yeah.
So is it tonight? Tonight is Chelsea and the Bayern PSG game. So that'll be a good one, obviously, for City to see who they might be facing in the next round. And then tomorrow we've got, the Liverpool and City games. And then Thursday, I think, is, again, the Arsenal, United and the Europa.
What doesn't fill me with confidence for the City game is I've seen a stat before. In knockout games, teams that have won the first leg 2-1 have been eliminated more times than they've gone through.
But stats like that, it's just I suppose it comes from you're 2-1 down and you're gonna put your everything in, but I don't know, I just feel like this year's City just are not gonna give up that lead type of thing.
I'm hoping not.
Yeah, be interesting to watch though.
I think if we get the first goal, I think it's done.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there, to be honest.
But,
as for them games, who do you see going through each game?
If we start from tonight, I don't think it's as straightforward for Chelsea as everyone thinks it is.
No, it could be a tough one.
Porto have got the 2 better players back for tonight. The 2 players that scored past Juve as well.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. I think Chelsea will go through, but I don't think it'll be as easy as everyone think. I think there'll probably be a score draw tonight. I think maybe a 1-1.
I think
Chelsea will go through. Possibly 3-1 on aggregate. The next game, Bayern PSG.
I'm going to stick my neck out on this one. I think Bayern are going to win this game 2 or 3-0.
I don't know whether they can stop PSG from scoring. That's the issue.
That is the issue, but I just got a weird feeling that Bayern are just going to show up tonight and either do some fucking Bayern versus Tottenham shit where they scored 8 goals or whatever they scored, or shut them out and win 2 or 3-0.
I just think Bayern have got a lot of injuries.
This is true.
Key players as well. I'm sure. Let me just have a look, because I think Coman's been ruled out now as well. I'll just double check. Yeah, so this is Bayern's injuries so far. These are definite one players.
Yeah.
This is not touch and go.
Yeah, this is ruled out.
Diego Costa, I wouldn't say that. Douglas Costa, definitely ruled out. Serge Gnabry, he's probably the best winger. He's out. Hoffman out. Robert Lewandowski out. Nicolas Sula out. Tillman out. Talisio out. Someone called Rocker, who I've never really heard of.
No.
He's out. But again, there was news about Marquinhos won't be playing for PSG either, which is a big loss for them as well.
Yeah.
But I just think with the players that are like, I think there's players for Bayern that have got knocks as well, and who are gonna have like late fitness tests as well. Yeah. So I think that might hinder them to getting. Like I said, they need at least 2 goals.
Yeah, that is a big list of players and a lot of key players on there. Like, yeah, it's a tough one, but I'm gonna stick my neck out and say Bayern get it done.
I mean, it's a ballsy call.
It is. It may be stupid.
If PSG get 1, then Bayern need 3.
Yeah.
Just to
get to extra time.
Oh no. Then you can.
No, they win.
If they win 3-1, obviously they'll go through. Yeah. But if PSG score, they need 3, and I don't think they're going to score 3 without Gnabry and Lewandowski. So I would probably lean towards PSG going through. I'm going to probably say that they win on the night as well.
Yeah.
I think PSG will win 2-1.
Fair enough.
Which means they'll go through 5-3 on aggregate.
Yeah. Right, Wednesday's games then. I think they're pretty clear. Wednesday's game. I think Man City win. I think you win on the night as well. I think you'll win comfortably this time. I think like 2-3-0. And then I think Liverpool might win on the night or a draw, but they're not. I just don't think they're going through after being 3-1 down.
I agree. I think City will go through. I think they'll take that next step and go into the semi-finals. And again, I agree with. I don't see Liverpool stopping Real Madrid from scoring, which means that they would need at least 3 for extra time. And obviously they'll leave the extra spaces in behind, which they can't defend anyway. So if they're going to leave more gaps in behind, I can't see. I'd probably see Real Madrid winning on the night as well.
I can just see like Liverpool like whipping themselves up into that European night, fucking, it's win or go home type of attitude where they just manage to win the game. But like I say, I can't see them stopping Real Madrid scoring. So like a 2-1 on the night, maybe something like that.
I'll go. I think Real Madrid will win on the night as well. So I'm going to go 2-1 Real Madrid, and I'll go 2-1 Man City again. Okay. So 4-2 on aggregate there. So I think that obviously the semi-finals will be City, PSG, and Chelsea, Real Madrid.
Good games. Could be good fun.
I think that's
all the football.
I'll say we can preview the Europa League. We're going to do another podcast on Thursday.
Yeah.
So we can speak up then on that day.
Yeah.
Unless you want to do it now.
No. I think we're alright. We can look at it on Thursday. And cool. Then I think just to wrap up, then we've got the UFC. So Vettori versus Holland. It's a bit of a boring one, wasn't it? Holland couldn't stop the takedown. Well, I don't know if it was like he couldn't stop the takedowns or he just accepted the takedowns because of his black belt. But yeah, it was a bit of a lay and pray, really. Like a couple of times where they exchanged punches, Holland definitely had the better of the stand-up. Rocked him 1 or 2 times, but in the end, Vettori just held him down and won the fight like that, really. And then called out Israel Adesanya in his speech, so that was interesting.
He took him down a record 11 times.
Yeah.
Wasn't the best, was it? Wasn't the best fight.
It wasn't. No.
It's a bit of a letdown. There's not really much to say about it.
There wasn't. No, there really wasn't. Like, obviously, you would have thought that Holland learnt from the Brunson fight, and he kind of did in the way that, like, for the first 3 rounds, every time he took him down, he was trying to make his way up. But it felt like the last 2 rounds, he was either gassed because he fought 21 days ago, or like he'd just run out of the will to try and get up, because the last 2 rounds he just accepted it.
Yeah. I think he probably knew he was. Once he was down, he wasn't really getting back up, was he? So he kind of just accepted it. It'd be interesting to see if Vettori gets these rematch.
I'm not sure.
Obviously,
not after
the first fight was a split decision as well.
Yeah, I know a lot of people think that Vettori could have took that one as well. So, but I don't think he does. I know obviously you've got Whittaker and Gastelum fighting this weekend coming up. I think he could potentially find himself fighting one of them, like the winner of that fight.
Yeah, I mean it depends. I mean, Dana said Whittaker was next, and he wasn't really interested in fighting him again.
I don't think Adesanya wants to fight him again either.
No, so I don't know. I think Adesanya would have obviously wanted to fight Till, like he said.
Yeah.
But I can probably see the Vettori rematch. To be honest,
it could happen. Like I suppose. Don't know, the way we're going at the moment, they might need a replacement for that bloody July 10th card. With the way that McGregor's saying he's not fighting Poirier anymore.
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? I kind of, they were kind of like respectful to each other, and then like when was it? Was it yesterday?
It was like 2 days ago, when he called the front kick, didn't he? He was like, I'm going to win by 4th round knockout by front kick, and then Poirier was like, yeah, you also predicted you'd give a 500k donation to my foundation, but that never happened, and your team stopped replying. And then McGregor was like, yeah, whenever I do a charitable donation, my like financial team want proof of where the money's going. And he was like, yeah, and we've tried to supply you with that, but no one's replying to our emails and stuff. And then McGregor was just basically like, it's a donation, not I don't owe you that money. I kind
of think McGregor went to 0 to 100 real quick.
He did. That's what I
he was kind of like, we want to see where that 500k is. And the next tree he was calling him like a hillbilly fuck and stuff like that.
He just exploded. It was crazy. But I just wasn't expecting that. I was reading like the chain of messages, and it's like, they're going at each other, but not like going at each other. And then McGregor's just like turns into Psycho McGregor, and he's like, I'll throw a dolly at you, you cunt. Like, it's just like, fucking hell, alright.
It was weird. And then he kind of ended it with saying, the fight's off, I'll fight someone
fighting
else.
How, like, reading that though, like, obviously I like McGregor and stuff, but how much vibes of I'm taking my ball and going home did you get from that? Like, I'm not fighting you anymore, I'm fighting someone else. Go and fight your normal contract.
Yeah, it was. I think that's his go-to, isn't it? Because he's like, if you don't fight me, you don't get paid.
You don't get paid, yeah.
So it was definitely. When I was reading, I was like, wow, he's just gone 0 to 100. Like,
he just fucking went off
real quick. But I still think they'll still fight, personally.
Yeah, I feel like once he's calmed down, basically, he'll be like, okay, yeah, we can still fight. But
I'm hoping this is gonna be like old McGregor.
Yeah.
I didn't quite like the respectful one.
It was weird, wasn't it? Because you expect him to shit talk, and he's just like, and you're like, why are you bowing to him? You should be throwing things at him and stuff.
I want him to go to the press conference and play those mind games again.
Yeah.
And be like, I'm gonna knock it out in 2 rounds or 1 round or.
Yeah, we need.
Because I think that's what broke Poirier the first fight.
Yeah, because he was emotional.
He was so in his head.
It's what McGregor does. It's just, I don't know. I think ever since the whole Khabib thing, he's like dead wary of talking shit in case he loses.
I think that Khabib thing though was like, that was past personal. That was fucking.
Yeah, it was beyond.
That was. Khabib replied to the chain messages, didn't he?
I didn't see, but
yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised.
He posted a video, but they were talking in Russian, so I was like,
yeah,
no idea what the fucking they're saying.
Cheers, Khabib.
But, yeah, I tried to read it, but people were like writing in Russian as well, so I was like, fucking hell. But yeah, he did reply to it, but fuck knows what he said though.
Something about something in Russian anyway.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think they'll still fight, but we'll see how it goes over the next few days, maybe. Obviously, quick boxing news is that Conor Benn won about 84 seconds, I think it was.
Yeah, I know it was like 80-something seconds.
Instantly called out Amir Khan. Amir Khan's since replied and said the fight doesn't make sense.
Isn't he still supposed to be fighting Kell Brook, the fight that's been trying to happen for about 10 years?
Supposedly. I don't get what the whole up with the same promoter and everything, so...
Yeah.
I don't know what...
He's sat in a room having an argument with himself. No, we want more money.
And... Yeah, I'm past caring, but it's too late now anyway, they're both fucking...
They're both past it, yeah.
So it's kind of... It's that Mayweather-Pacquiao vibe.
Yeah.
Where that should have happened like 5 years before it actually did. But I mean, apart from that, obviously we've got the news of Fury Joshua.
Yeah. Well,
they keep
kind of. Well,
news. They keep posting to the social media saying apparently the deal's close. Fury did a video on Twitter saying he's gonna go over the offers.
Yeah.
He mentioned some countries that he's had offers from as well, which is Saudi Arabia. I think he mentioned like Uzbekistan or something.
Yeah,
like that
I did see that, like Uzbekistan and stuff.
Russia.
Yeah.
England.
Lots of American states.
Yeah, like Vegas and stuff like that. So, so it looks like that there's venues and dates. I'm supposed that they're gonna go over it and obviously see. But I did see what he said. He wants it agreed like quickly, because he said he will move on if it prolongs it like any long, because he wants to fight twice anyway this year, and it's
getting so
we're already halfway through April.
Yeah.
So
I did see obviously Eddie Hearn said if they could get it done for Wembley, it would take place on the 24th of July, but that's pending if they can get Wembley and if Wembley will allow 100,000 spectators as well. So that's a big if, with like the unknowns about COVID, and July 24th will have only just come out of the restrictions as well. So it's hard. It'd be hard for Wembley to turn around now and say we can guarantee them 100,000 seats.
Especially because they haven't long come out to say. Obviously, there's a few Euro. I hate calling it Euro 2020 because it's not. But Euro 2021 games, they said there's going to be spectators, but like a few thousand, and that's in June, July.
What's baffled me about that though is they've literally confirmed today that in London they're going to have a 12,500 capacity fan zone in Trafalgar Square or something, and it's like, how can you have 12,500 fans in that square, but you're not allowed 12,500 fans in the stadium?
I know.
So it's definitely a weird one.
It is life.
It is indeed, and I think that's everything we've got to cover today.
Yeah, I think that there wasn't really.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole heap going on, was there? No, right.
I say hopefully, fingers crossed, the next time we do a podcast, the Fury Joshua fight will be actually confirmed.
Yeah, let's hope so. I mean, we've said this for the last 3 podcasts now, but you know, a man can dream. But anyway, so yeah, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell if you want to be notified when we go live with videos. Twitter is in the description, as is Twitch, where we stream occasionally. Some weeks we stream 6 times, some weeks we don't stream at all. It's a very sporadic type of thing, but we're trying to be better. And yeah, I think that's everything. So thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.